What's up, guys and girls? I originally finished this God of War theory 1 week before God of War Ragnarok was released. However, I never uploaded this video because PlayStation and Santa Monica gave me the game early. So in good faith, I decided not to upload this alternate ending until now. This is how I wanted God of War to end. The beginning of this video was already on the channel because it was part 1, but I'm going to include it here so it just makes sense. Anyways, tell me what you think. Enjoy. Kratos and Atreus enter the hidden chamber that was next to their home. Vanaheim was their destination, and they learned they can get there through this hidden chamber. As they approached the gate, Atreus began to hold up the item to make the gates open. Then they heard a scream. Freya had ambushed Kratos and attacked him directly. Kratos tried to avoid a fight with Freya the whole journey. However, now there was nowhere to go, and Kratos had no choice. She attacked with her sword, stabbing and slashing. A lot of her blows landed, and Kratos defended himself as best he could. She was stronger than any Valkyrie they fought before. Her wings made her faster, her sword and her magic made her stronger, and her hate fueled everything else. With every blow Kratos landed, she healed herself instantly with her magic. She seemed unstoppable. Atreus finally managed to open the gate when Kratos was stabbed straight through his stomach. While impaled, she flew upwards, lifting Kratos. Kratos, ignoring the pain, landed a right hook to Freya's temple. Dazed by the blow, she flew straight into the portal, into Vanaheim. But the blow made her lose balance even in the air, causing her to fly upwards. Kratos grabbing on her neck with both hands, hoping the lack of air would make her go unconscious. She held onto his throat with one hand and began to pull the sword out and stab him again and again and again. Now spinning out of control, rising higher and higher, Kratos, with both hands still around her neck, gives her a massive headbutt, which separates the two as they both crash land to the ground below. Freya stood up slowly, and Kratos, while holding his wounds, stood as well. Freya began to walk towards him when Vanir gods started surrounding the two, ignoring Kratos, and they focused on Freya. Freya's rage grew even more. She screamed at the Vanir people, watching in the distance. She yelled at them, saying they all betrayed her when she left. They turned their backs on her, and that's why all of this was happening. Then two Vanir gods approached and locked eyes with her. Her brother and her father approached. She screamed at them to go away. She blamed Kratos for killing Baldur, but began to blame them as well. He told her they were angry when she married Odin. Their love for her was changed into hatred as she had joined the enemy. But as the decades went by, they realized Freya saved their lives. During the war, the Aesir and the Vanir were losing so many lives on both sides. If she had not married Odin, more lives would have been lost. And that no one but one person is responsible for Baldur's death, and it's time that she admit who it really was. She screamed at them and said it was him while pointing her blade towards Kratos. Her father replied in a calm voice, "We were watching from here the whole time. He may have snapped his neck, but he was dead long before then." With those words, Freya grew tears in her eyes. She charged forward towards Njord with her blade, ready to stab her own father. But he was too quick. He disarmed Freya while holding her close. She thrashed and crashed while in his grip, screaming that it wasn't her, that she's not a monster, that she just wanted to protect Baldur. However, with the expression of sadness on her face, anyone could tell that she didn't believe the words coming out of her mouth. With her family beside her, her father on her right and her brother on her left, and many Vanir gods surrounding them, for the first time in 3 years, she mourned for her son and let her emotions go. Moments passed. Freya and the other gods haven't moved. However, time was ticking. Atreus reluctantly approached Freyr and told him that they have a way to fast travel to any realm that they visited before, to get the elves under control and to unite the realm. Kratos finally approached Freya, who was on her knees. Her father was next to her still. Kratos asked her what was the weakness of Asgard's walls. They needed to launch an assault soon and needed to know of a way in. She looked at him and stood up. She told him she may never be able to forgive him for what she did to Baldur, but says that she caused Baldur's death as well. Kratos just looked at her and once again asked about the wall. Freya replied the stonemason's son told her on the east side of the walls there is a point where if enough power is applied to one spot, the entire wall will come crumbling down. However, there is a problem. In order to hide the weakness put in the wall, he couldn't make it so obvious, and you still need an extremely powerful weapon to break it down. Your axe, not even Mjolnir, will be strong enough to break down the wall. I don't know if a weapon even exists in this reality that can force a way through. Trust me, I looked. Kratos' hand started to shake. To hide this, he made a fist, but that couldn't stop the flashes from coming. The memories he once fought so hard to erase were once again flowing through his mind. Freya accepted what she did to her son, and now Kratos must return to the place where he destroyed his daughter and his wife. He knew where to get such a weapon. They needed to visit Tyr. Knowing where to find a strong enough weapon to break through Asgard's walls, Kratos and Atreus turned to Tyr. Knowing his legend as one who traveled to many places, including Greece, Kratos requested to go to the top of Mount Olympus to retrieve the Blade of Olympus. After entering this light, Kratos and Atreus saw the blade right where Kratos had left it centuries ago, in the same spot where Kratos once stabbed himself. They heard a voice coming from a ledge nearby. "Ghost of Sparta, destroyer of Olympus, have you come to finally finish me?" Athena begins to yell at Kratos that he's taken everything from her. She says she has no purpose to live, but cannot die in this form because time has no effect on her. She explains how she tried to rule the mortals, but since he gave them hope, the mortals refused to be ruled. A god with no power shouldn't be a god at all. After she says all of this, Kratos remains silent, while Atreus looks on. After a bit of silence, Kratos finally says to her, "Your struggle does not affect me. I do not care." He then picks up the blade. Athena, in a pit of rage and wanting Kratos to end her life, she starts to scream about the horrors of Kratos' past. Unfazed, Kratos heads towards the light. Athena, as a last-ditch effort, looks at Atreus and says, "You must be his son. I can feel it. Tell me, where is your whore mother? Is she in bed with another god? Or has your father actually killed her too?" Kratos screams in a fit of rage. He kicks her in her chest, putting her on the ground. Raising the blade high above her head, he once more became the Ghost of Sparta, ready to finish what he started. He felt this monstrous rage come on, a feeling he hasn't felt in years. However, a voice in his head surfaced, past the anger, remembering the words of his son, and almost as fast as his rage came, it was now gone. Kratos looks at Athena and says, "You and the other gods were beaten long ago, and you, Athena, are no longer a threat." Kratos and Atreus begin to walk away, but as they do, Kratos says, "Live your life away from this wretched place. Find your own purpose. Living in the past is useless. We must be better." With the other races and Surtur with the fire giants, an assault on Asgard has finally begun. Kratos, Freya, and Atreus, after fighting at the start, sneak off to the side, to the weakness of the wall. Kratos, using the Blade of Olympus, the force was strong enough to break through. However, the blade disintegrated in the process. Freya breaking off to rejoin the fight, Kratos and Atreus move forward, and that's when Odin and Thor appeared. Earlier, Thor lost to Kratos, and Kratos convinced him to walk away with his family. But Thor explains Odin had his family hostage. If he doesn't win, Odin will kill them. After Thor hits Atreus in the chest, the final battle begins. Thor, with everything on the line, fights harder than he did before. Kratos matched his energy and the landscape broke. The ground crumpled. The world shook. Kratos, exhausted and hurt more than he has ever been, finally puts down the giant killer, critically wounding him, but he was still alive. Odin was about to snap the neck of Thor's wife and daughter when Kratos threw his axe at him. Angry, Odin charged and heavily damaged Kratos, beating him senseless. Kratos, unable to defend himself because of the damage Thor inflicted, was helpless. Odin picked up Mjolnir, and as he was about to deliver the final blow, Atreus called the axe to him and attacked Odin head-on. Thor's wife and daughter dragged Kratos' beaten body away when Kratos looks at Atreus. Atreus' scar and tattoos, even the axe itself, were glowing green. Kratos realizes Faye's intentions. The axe was never meant for Kratos forever. Faye always wanted Kratos to be the one to pass down the axe, for the true wielder of the axe. For Atreus, no, Loki to own it, when he finally decides who he wants to be. Kratos smiles as he now remembers when he came out of the light 3 years ago. Atreus killed all those elves by himself. Kratos slightly laughs that he never figured it out himself. Now that Atreus is Loki, the axe now grows green when he has it. Loki realizes during the fight he can use the axe's freezing power, but the axe now has a new power, poison. Poison put in the axe by the world serpent. Odin during the battle is slowing down because of the poison, slowly killing him. Loki wins. Everything is gone. Once Odin died, the Valkyries and enemies all were free from his brainwashing. As the sun rose, Kratos tells his son to stay here and rebuild. He is the future now. The world needs him. Kratos explains he used what feels like the last of his strength against Thor. The time of the Ghost of Sparta has come to an end. Atreus asks, where will he go? Kratos replies, home. It's time for Loki to be on his own, but if you will ever need me, I will be close by, in a familiar place. But time for me to rest for a very long time. I cannot do this anymore. Asgard needs you, and I need you to show them no matter what they have done, we must all be better. This story ends a few years after Ragnarok is over, and Freya visits Kratos at his house. They both talk, and Freya confides in Kratos, asking him how did he get over the death of his wife and daughter, and Kratos replies, he didn't. You can never really get over those things, but it's the scars that make us better, and that's the end of the story that I thought was going to happen in God of War Ragnarok. You know, a lot of people complain about God of War Ragnarok, but I do like the game for what it was. I do think that the whole purpose of God of War 2018 and Ragnarok was to show a new side of Kratos, and I get not a lot of people like the version of him in God of War Ragnarok because he showed a lot more emotion, but I don't know, I think that it's the whole point of God of War Ragnarok, right? I think they really wanted to change who Kratos was, and yeah, I do agree with that take. But let me know your thoughts about this story. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm going to be out here. Thank you guys and girls for listening. Deuces.